And just like that, we're back with Week 12 predictions for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We'll just get right into it. If you haven't yet, go check out my recap of the MAC Week 12. It'll probably be up before this one. Anyways, we'll jump right into this. Tulane at number 25 Tulsa. Thursday game. The spread is -6 for Tulsa. The over-under is 53.5. My player to watch is Zach Wilson, Tulsa quarterback. He has 96 out of 156, 1,249 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions on the year so far. For me in this game, for him, just don't turn the ball over. He had a silly pick six last week. Just avoid the silly turnovers, especially early in the game. Get up early in the game, and you won't have to worry about catching up to anyone. Tulane definitely needs to get the ground game running here. They played very well last week. They averaged 224.1 rush yards a game. So really get that going. Keep Zach Smith and the offense off the field, and pretty much if you go up, don't give them the chance to make a comeback. Keep them on the field, wear them down on defense. And that includes winning time of possession. That's big for Tulane in this game. No matter what lead you have, if you ever get a lead, do not get comfortable with it. We know Tulsa has made some comebacks this year. Don't get comfortable with it. Whether it's 7 points, 24 points, 30 points, don't get comfortable with it. However, I do think Tulsa is going to win this one 34-21. I am expecting Tulsa to go down at some point in this game, but I think Tulsa will again come back and win. Next game is Utah State at Wyoming, also on Thursday. The spread is -20 for Wyoming. The over-under is 46.5. My player to watch is Wyoming quarterback Levi Williams. He's 44 for 80, 660 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions on the year. Use this game to get on track for Levi Williams. You haven't been great, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Find your rhythm in this game. You're going against a bad defense, and the thing is, Utah State's offense is just as bad as their defense. They only put up 11.3 points per game, only 242.8 yards per game, while their defense gives up 37.3 points per game and 525.8 yards per game. So take advantage of it. I do think Wyoming will win this one, as all other Utah State opponents have this year, fairly easily and by more than 1 score. I think Wyoming gets the win 34-10. Next game is jumping us into Friday. UMass at Florida Atlantic. The spread is -32 for Florida Atlantic. The over-under is 50.5. My player to watch is Javion Posey, Florida Atlantic quarterback. I'm not sure if he's starting. I'm not sure if Nick Troney is going to start in this. But Javion is 10 for 17. Well, last week, because that was really his main throwing game, I guess. He went 10 for 17, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He also has 27 carries, 242 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the ground. And I'm going to say it, Florida Atlantic should definitely start Javion. I don't think it should be Nick Tronte. I really don't think so. The offense looked so much better last week when they put Javion in, and he just did his thing, running, did a little passing, but was effective. So I definitely think Javion is the way to go for them. UMass is only scoring 5 points a game. Yeah, that's a problem. So I don't think there's any way that this is a close game, especially if Florida Atlantic found their stride on offense. They already had a pretty decent defense. They found the stride on offense. If they have, no way UMass keeps this thing close. I think Florida Atlantic wins 38-6. Next game is New Mexico at Air Force, also on Friday. Air Force is favored by 7 points. The over-under is 55.5. My player to watch is Tavaka Tuitui. Tuioti. Sorry if I got that wrong. New Mexico quarterback. He's 37 for 66, 475 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interceptions on the year. You know, Air Force, they sat out 30 guys before the season started. Then they had one guy test positive and some other guys with contact tracing. So they had to cancel their previous 2 games. So I don't really know where they are at mentally and physically. I'm not really too sure about that. They looked good in their opening game against Navy, but they dropped their following 2 and haven't really looked great. So I'm not really too sure what to think of them, other than they haven't really, they canceled 2 games and they're 1-2 in their other games. So I'm expecting Tavaka to definitely keep his team in range of winning this game at least. Air Force in this game, I'm definitely looking for them to pass a little bit more in this game. New Mexico gives up 410.3 pass yards a game. So Air Force's pass game could become an issue in this. But like I said, I don't know where Air Force is mentally or physically. So I think New Mexico slips away with a win here, 27-24, but I won't be surprised if this game goes the other way. Next game is Appalachian State at number 15, Coastal Carolina. This takes us to Saturday. The spread is 5.5 favoring Coastal Carolina. There was no over/under in this game. My player to watch is Coastal Carolina quarterback Grayson McCall. He's 94 out of 135 on the year. He's got 1,393 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 1 interception on the year. To say he has been effective this year is an understatement. I think the only clear difference between these 2 teams really is Grayson McCall. I really, really believe that. Both defenses are very similar. Appalachian State gives up 324.7 yards per game with 16.9 points per game. Coastal Carolina gives up 309.6 yards per game with 16.3 points per game. So they're very similar on defense. And exactly the same with the offenses. They're almost identical. 37.9 points per game for Coastal Carolina with 442 yards per game. Appalachian State is doing 32.1 points per game and 449.7 yards per game. So I think that offensive point margin that we see, Coastal scoring 37.9 and App State scoring 32.1, I think that margin will be the difference in this game, and it's going to be the deciding factor. So I think Coastal Carolina gets this win 28-24. Next game is Houston at SMU. The spread is favoring SMU by 3. No over/under on the game. My player to watch is Peyton Turner, Houston defensive lineman, who has 24 total tackles on the year, 4 sacks, 1 forced fumble. Turner definitely needs to get in the face of Shane, make him uncomfortable. Cincinnati did a good job of this, getting in his face. So did Tulsa. And if you're SMU, get Ulysses Bentley going really early. Houston gives up 190.8 rush yards per game. And Houston, avoid turnovers and penalties, anything that'll give SMU extra possessions. And take some risks. Go for it on 4th down. Maybe fake a punt or field goal or something in there. Take a risk to beat this team. I think this game is close. I think SMU wins this 27-20. Next game is East Carolina at Temple. The spread is -4 for the Pirates. The over/under was not there. And my player to watch is Romaine Davis, Temple running back, who's got 78 carries, 308 yards, and a touchdown on the year. East Carolina gives up 228.9 rush yards per game, so that's going to play a factor. I don't trust Temple's passing game. Whoever is passing the football, whether it's Anthony Russo or any other quarterbacks they've had in there so far. I do think Temple does have the better defense. like I said, I don't know if they have the quarterback to take the game over. So, plus on another side, I do think the Pirates have had a little bit tougher of a schedule so far. So I'm gonna say East Carolina slips away with the win here, 24-21. Next game is Georgia Southern at Army. The spread is -4 in favor of Army. There was no over under. Like I said, I usually put a player to watch in this, but it's not a player. It's actually Army's coaching staff that you got to keep an eye on. Army needs to get back to the basics. Stop trying to do fancy things and look cute. Just back to what took you to overtime with Oklahoma, took you down to the wire against Michigan. Beat San Diego State in a bowl game. All those things. Just get back to the basics. Good old option football. Again, last week the start of Christian Anderson didn't make sense. I think you need to get back to Cade Ballard and Tahir Tyler running the football. Don't pass when it's not warranted. Maybe push analytics a little bit to the side, coach from the mind a little bit more. I will say Georgia Southern has definitely been tested this year. They lost to Coastal. They beat Troy. Army also has been tested, and they're 1-2 in those games. They beat UTSA, who's a fairly good team. They're just riddled with injuries and whatnot. Cincinnati they lost, and Tulane they lost. So this is a game Army needs badly to put another Division I opponent in the win column. They just need this win so bad. Georgia Southern, if you're looking to take Army out of their game, stop the fullback dive. I don't really know what to say. I know Georgia Southern, their option has been working really well. Even when they had their two starting running backs out, they've done well. So for Georgia Southern, keep doing what you're doing. Hit those play action passes. Get Army in bad positions on defense, and just put a lot of pressure on Army's offense. And I told you I wouldn't pick against my team, but I will tell you when I'm not comfortable. I am most certainly not comfortable at all. I think Army wins by the skin of their teeth, 23-21. Next game is Florida International at Western Kentucky. The spread is 7.5 favoring Western Kentucky. My player to watch is Devontae Price, Florida International running back. He's got 61 carries, 481 yards, and 4 touchdowns on the year. Not really sure what to make of this game. Florida International doesn't have much defense. They give up 31 points per game. But Western Kentucky doesn't have much offense. They only score 14.7 points per game. So I don't really know what's going to give here. Western Kentucky couldn't score more than 10 last week against a horrible defense in Southern Mississippi who gives up 40 points a game. It leads me to think that they're not going to be able to score more than 10 points or 14 points against anyone. So I'm going to say in a relatively low-scoring game, Florida International wins 21-10. Next game is Rice at North Texas. There was no spread when I was looking this game up, no over-under. My player to watch is Austin Oon. The North Texas quarterback. He's 76 for 137, 1,233 yards, 8 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Austin needs to definitely outplay his opposition, Mike Collins. He's not going to get help from his defense. He's got to put up a good amount of points and yards in this game. Rice has played very well, 32 points per game and 418.5 yards per game. And like I said, Mike Collins has been very good at leading the charge for Rice. North Texas has been struggling. I think Rice gets the win. I don't think North Texas is going to be able to hang in there. I think Rice is going to win 35-17. Next game is UTSA at Southern Mississippi. UTSA is favored by 9. The over-under is 52. My player to watch is Frank Gore Jr., Southern Miss running back. He's got 99 carries, 527 yards, and 1 touchdown on the year. Southern Miss has to lean on their run game to keep UTSA's offense off the field. We know how bad Southern Miss's defense is. Again, they're giving up 33.6 points per game, 423.4 yards per game. So it's going to be important that They lean on their run game, keep UTSA off the field. And of course, I didn't forget, if you're UTSA, give Sincere McCormick the ball, please. I think UTSA wins 31-21. Next game is number 7 at Cincinnati at UCF. The spread is -6 for Cincinnati. The over/under is 63.5. My player to watch is Jared Dokes, Cincinnati running back. 109 carries, 563 yards, and 7 touchdowns on the year. Cincinnati's run game is going to be super important in this game. Keep that explosive UCF offense off the field. This offense, they're putting up 619 yards per game and I think 35 points. In retrospect, Cincinnati's offense is putting up like 34 points a game, but UCF's offense is explosive. Like I said, 619.1 yards per game. And Cincinnati, get pressure on Dillon Gabriel. You need to force him to make mistakes. He's not going to make mistakes on his own. You have to force him into mistakes. If you're UCF, go with an up-tempo offense. Don't let Cincinnati substitute. Wear them down relatively early. You got 2 running backs that are capable of running the ball. Not sure if it's easier said than done for UCF. I don't think they're going to be able to do that. I think Cincinnati gets a win here in a close game, 31-24. Next game is Middle Tennessee State at Troy. The spread is -11.5 for Troy. The over/under is 59.5. And my player to watch is Kamani Vital, Troy running back, who's got 67 carries, 393 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I don't really know what to say for this game. Middle Tennessee State is a bad football team sitting at 2-6. They really just can't get anything going. So I think without said, Troy wins 33-14. Next game is San Diego State at Nevada. The spread is -1.5 favoring San Diego State. The over/under is 47. My player to watch is San Diego State running back Greg Bell. He's got 85 carries, 537 yards, and 5 touchdowns. They got to get him going early and often and win the time of possession battle so they keep Carson Strong off the field. And if you're Carson Baker, the San Diego State quarterback, play efficient, don't force any stupid throws, just manage the offense well and let Greg Bell do the heavy lifting in this. And I think that'll be a key for San Diego State. The one game they were held to only 101 yards rushing. They lost that game to San Jose State. So, run game, very important. And if you're Nevada, get Romeo Dubes the ball. He's been doing his thing. Him and Carson Strong have been lighting it up. I think Nevada gets the win 24-20. Next game is Georgia State at South Alabama. The spread is -3.5 for Georgia State. The over/under is 59. My player to watch is South Alabama quarterback Desmond Trotter. He's 104 for 155, 1,320 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Georgia State gets a 324.4 pass yards per game, so I'm expecting Desmond to have a good day with those numbers. Each team's last 5 games are about the same strength. Maybe the slight edge going to South Alabama. Georgia State, get Destin Coates in their run game going early. Win the time of possession. Help your not-so-great defense out. I do think South Alabama gets the win here, despite Georgia State being favored. I think South Alabama wins 38-30. Next game is San Jose State at Fresno State. The spread is -2.5 for San Jose State. The over/under is 60, and my player to watch is Ronnie Rivers, Fresno running back. 85 carries, 439 yards, and 7 touchdowns. I really like Fresno's chances if they get Ronnie Rivers going. I really do. However, Fresno State's defense is a concern. They're giving up 417.3 yards per game. And San Jose State has a pretty good offense, scoring 29.3 points per game and 407 yards per game. I'm actually going to go with another upset here. I'm going to go with Fresno State wins 27-24. Next and final game for this week is Boise State at Hawaii. Boise State is favored by 14 points. The over-under is 58. My player to watch is a group, and it's Hawaii's defense. They're giving up 414.3 yards per game and 29.3 points per game. They have to make plays. They have to show up if they want a shot to win this game, especially with Hank Bachmeier being back. He looked pretty decent last week. I don't see Hawaii winning this thing. I think Boise wins 31-17, and that will wrap up this week. Like my videos, check out my channel, and hit the subscribe button, follow my pages, comment in my YouTube section what you guys might think some of the scores will be, what games you're excited for, and that does it. So I'll see you for the recap on Sunday.